Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to Shop Talk with Mel. And of course, I am your girl Mel, and you see the lovely Amber D is in the building. Got a great show planned for you, lovely people. Today's topic is what exactly is the bro code? Yeah. Yeah, Amber, what exactly is the bro code? Now, here's the deal. I have always, for my longtime listeners, I've always had an issue when you'll have guys or I'll have guests on the show and it's a guy that's speaking and they'll tell you something, but as females, for some unknown reason, we tend to be the ones that don't believe him and want to tell people how to think or tell them how they should think. And, I talked about that all the time. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Or it'll be a question for the men, and then women want to come in and be like, well, but that's because of ABC. And then it's like, okay, wait a minute. And then I have had the situations, and Amber, you can vouch for it, where we've had guys, I'll make a comment about for females, and it say female only. And for some unknown reason, these brothers want to come on and be like, well, what about this? Why are we pointing fingers? That's why you're in the position that you're in. And that's why don't nobody like you, because those are broad tendencies. Okay. I'm like, okay, so we got that. All right. So today's guest, listen, TikTok sensation. If you don't know him, I'm about to put it out there. Mr. Roll with me is in the building today, lovely people. Mr. Roll with me, and he's at Stanley Lamar PB. Y'all got to check him out, because I'm gonna tell you what. When he was sitting there and it came across, and I was like, wait a minute, now let's see what this brother got to say, because he came on in, and my attention span is short. So I was like, all right, let's see. He walked in, boom. I was engaged. Heard what he had to say. I was like, oh, wait, man. Now we talking business. So yes, I'm excited about him coming on the scene today. So you guys stick with us. We got a great show planned, but let's talk about what we need to talk about real quick. I got to start this way. Bishop Whitehead. Remember we talked about this last week. But Bishop Whitehead, if you guys don't know, that's the brother that was in, let me say it correctly, the bishop. I don't want nobody getting at me. The bishop that was in New York City and got robbed online for his jewelry. And now they have upped it. So you got so many different things going on, rumors and stuff as far as like how much he was robbed for. And then now they're up to 90,000, but I don't think it was actually 90,000. Anyway, he was on Larry Reed's YouTube channel. Problem is, Larry Reed, he's a bishop too, I believe, out of Atlanta. Don't quote me on it. Y'all check that stuff out, on your own time, but not during this time. Anyway, he cussed him out. Straight up went off, out, and I'm like, that's what we doing? Like, you a bishop. And did you see it, Amber?
I saw it. I saw the link you sent me. So my first question is he actually a bishop, or did he gave himself the title? Because a part of the, the Protestant church and the Catholic church, like, it's a whole process, you know what I'm saying? Like an appointment, you know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, I'm a bishop. And I kind of feel like that's what it felt like. It's I'm a bishop. Like he just, like with, Dr. Dre, he's not actually a doctor. Okay. So I'm not actually a bishop. I just like the title of bishop. So I feel like that's a problem.
You trying to put them in the classification of like, I'm thinking,
I don't think he's really a bishop.
I'm really thinking that they're a bishop. I mean, I don't know how they pass those out or not, those degrees. Yeah,
I don't think he's
that's like 4 years. I don't know how that works.
Right. I feel like the bishops I know, it's like, I'm saying, it's heavy, like it's serious.
That you would think. So you think
right, and so that's why I'm like, oh, he's just calling himself a bishop. Like, who is he appointed by? What organization?
Well, I don't know. We're going to have to look into that. Let me put this out here, though, for my lovely people. Hey, if you want to call in and join in the conversation, feel free to do so. The phone number here is 619-902-2287. You can text, you can do whatever, and I'll read your comments live, and I'll pay attention because y'all know I'll be so engrossed in the conversation that I'll be like, oh, wait a minute. I didn't, oops, I didn't forget your call. So 619-902-2287. And you can Shop Talk live. I'm going to get that out there right now because this is about to get real good. So now you're talking about the bishop. So you're thinking that people are becoming bishops real easy? Maybe COVID. Maybe they,
No, I don't think he's a bishop.
You don't?
I don't think he's actually, I mean, I feel like he's someone who calls himself, I could call myself Dr. Amber. Like, that don't mean I'm a doctor.
That sounds good. But you know what? I have an attitude about me being a nurse. I'll be like, doctor, like, did you even, like, you got some medical, like, what? Talk to me.
Right. I don't think, I mean, I could be wrong, of course, because I'm really unfamiliar with both of these people. I don't think he's a real bishop. And if it's all where did he get his credentials from?
Okay, you're going to have to reach out and call.
Yeah. And then,
did you see he called her fat?
Yeah, I mean, it was not in the spirit. It was not in the spirit. And it sounded like two N-words arguing. I mean,
look, I got the bell ready.
I'm trying to keep it PG, ma'am. I'm trying to keep it, but yeah, it just was not.
Yeah, you know how we do now. Here, keep it 100. That's
right. It was
so weird. Well, he looked a little off, and I'm gonna say off center because when he attacked the girl, and then let me say this: the reason that he went off, because I got to be fair. He said that they were laughing on their broadcast about him being robbed. Now, the problem is that a lot of people are saying, but people, and that's what we do. So you got to ignore what be in the comments. But anyway, they had a problem because they was like, well, you, and I'm using air quotes for a listening audience that can't see us. You got robbed for $90,000, but you got your backdrop is up with thumbtacks. I was like, look,
shady. That was a shady.
look, yeah, hit her with it. Shots fired.
Right. Okay. Dang. Right. I mean, I don't know. And I heard some rumors. See, this is what happens. Like when you go viral, you become a public commodity. And yeah, now that it's all over the internet, everyone's going to be, assessing and interpreting the situation. Because I've seen some comments saying that it was a setup, and that it was, it was for a show. It was a performative event.
Yeah, you see, I need some sound. I need my people here. I need some sound effects, some cookies, and something.
Right. And so
but you're right. Once you go viral, it's out there, and you just can't. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you can't attack everybody that's talking about you because I'm talking about them right now. And he was saying that whoever it was that came in, they had his daughter. They had a gun at his daughter, and that's what he was really upset about. So that's why. He said, allegedly, I'm saying allegedly, even though I saw it, but we know how things can be tweaked out, with videos and pictures and stuff, photoshopped or whatever. Anyway, he was saying that was the part that really upset him, but because people were laughing. I don't think they were laughing at him. I think they were looking at the comments because a lot of people felt like, when you read it, it was for insurance money. It looked set up. They said he got a Rolls Royce, a G-Wagon, and all this other stuff, but you got your backdrops up. They was like, well, invest the money in the church instead of rolling around with all that jewelry. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I like my jewelry. That was a lot of jewelry to be. That like, what time did he get up to put all that on? Like, is that like, you know what I mean? Like, chicks will make up. They be like, girl, I got to get up an hour early to make sure my face is right. Like. He had
it gives me very metro, and metro is being generous. It gives me pan bisexual. That's what when men are super adorned like that. I'm like, yeah. I mean, I like more like rugged men or more plain men. I don't know, but that's not a look I'm into. And then as far as allegedly being a man of God, I think it's a fair criticism. Like, why do you have all this jewelry on, but your church is looking struggly? And he said that he owned the whole block and stuff. You
Amber,
know
he gonna
how
come
I
for
feel.
us.
You know how I feel when certain people be talking about they own this. This is my block. When he told the other gentleman, "You came to my city." Please stop. You do not own wherever you're living at. You like statistically, numerically. Let's be real here. You know what I'm saying? You unlikely. So I feel like he was probably I can't even think of the word, but he was exaggerating about
Okay.
owning a whole block. He definitely doesn't own the whole city. I mean, it was just N-word mentality. That's what, because it's just like, no, I'm gonna need to see papers. Like, oh no, he actually, because you know what? Whoever owns at least residential property, and I think even commercial property, that's public knowledge. So that's something the internet can easily fact check.
So you're gonna fact check his bishopstry?
I mean, we can. I mean, because he might have got it off of some little internet.
Hey, there's passing stuff out. There's passing stuff out for COVID. You know that, but
right, exactly. I want to know.
I ain't going against the word of God. I ain't doing it, Amber. You got that. That's Amber D. Y'all heard her. they can come for Amber D. But however, I get it because we hold people to a higher standard, higher esteem, and it's like you're attacking the way that this girl looks because you're upset. And I cannot stand hurt people. I cannot stand that phrase. It annoys me to no end. And I'm like, okay, hurt people. And then you're the one that's saying it. Like, give me a break. So you're the one that's saying hurt people. So you know you're hurt. Why would you even do that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was hurt.
He didn't call old dude the F word. Are we allowed to say that?
Yeah, I don't think you're allowed to say that.
Oh my God, we can't say nothing now.
Nothing. We can't say nothing.
the F word.
Pretty sure, yeah, you definitely.
He's gay. The other bishop is gay in Atlanta. Allegedly.
Well, I didn't know he was a bishop either. I thought he was an entertainer.
You said it looked like two niggas arguing.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. That's what I saw. Sorry. I mean, it did not look like two men with esteem and titles and positions of power and influence having a heated debate. It looked like two N-words arguing in front of a liquor store. So
not in front of a liquor store.
In front of liquor, just for an environment, to create the environment. The aura.
Not in front of the user. It did seem a little odd. It was weird. It was real petty. And it was like, y'all should
petty.
Do that in the pastor's office.
Yeah.
Like, don't let us see it. Because how you got to bring more people to Christ? And this is what you're showing. And it's like, okay, wait a minute. And you do have, and not all Black people that are bishops act like that. Let me put that out.
Not at all. Not because that's my first thing I said. I said he ain't a bishop because I didn't see because of the way he conducted himself. Sorry.
Okay. You know what I mean? And people do things differently because you got black funny and you got white funny. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you be like, that was Black funny. Some white people probably be like, that was not funny. But you know, when you know somebody that you be like, oh, that's silly. You know what I'm saying? Like this situation with them arguing up there, and then they going back and forth, and it's like, even him with being robbed. No, that's not funny that happened because he was in it. But somebody might look at the whole situation like, did you see how he got down? You know what I mean? Like you're happy they're okay, but then boom, versus looking at the overall picture.
And I also feel like, to me, this just came into my mind. I feel like the way he responded was like how the police respond when citizens question things. Like, how dare you ask us questions? Because there's questions that need to be asked, and we're allowed to ask questions because the citizens are writing your paycheck. And in the same way that these bishops need to be held accountable to their congregation. Don't sit here and get mad because people are pointing out inconsistencies and things that look strange, as if you're so high and mighty that no one can question you or question what they witnessed, of this alleged robbery.
I get it. Listen, that's silly. What's in the comments? In front of the liquor store with some dark sunglasses and gazelles, and they did have these gazelles on.
Right. That's why I said this don't look like bishops to me. Sorry. Mm-mm. Yeah.
Would you like? Sorry, Will Smith's apology.
I heard he made a second one, and I feel like this is like hobo apology tour basically, and it's like.
No, you didn't. No. Amber shots fired. Homo apology. What first Kim Burrell, then she did the one, then now I got to do another one.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And I don't know if you saw some other, because the internet is the best investigation tool. They dug up some more clips of her of other performances she did where she was going in, and it was horrible. It was worse than the one that she went viral for. Some of her older stuff.
Yeah, well, I guess that's who she is.
Exactly.
And then you wonder why people be like, I ain't dealing with religion, I'm dealing with spirituality.
Exactly.
Yeah, they showing out.
I mean, and that's what all of them, those three people, that's religion. Because spirituality, you can pick up on somebody's energy. You can see someone's spirit. And none of that was in the spirit at all.
Okay. All right. The with the Will Smith, do you think it was authentic, and why did he need to have a second one?
I feel like, I mean, I will reserve judgment for Will Smith. I do still have a lot of respect for him as an actor and as a Black person in the public domain. But I feel like when people apologize a second time, it's probably because there was something lacking, or their first apology was insincere, or the person who you gave the first sincere apology to wasn't at a space at that point in time where they could actually receive the apology. And I think they're friends.
I think not, because he's not ready. Here's my thing. Look, now let me tell you mine.
Yeah.
First of all, okay, Will, why are you apologizing to the public? Because that's what that was.
Ooh.
That apology was for us to see. Okay. You didn't get it. Chris don't even want to hear you right now. So he's not ready. And then when I listen to the apology, let's be real, because like I told you guys before, what's important is what's at the beginning and what's at the end. The middle is just all fluff. Okay. And when he was speaking, I said, this doesn't seem sincere, because it was a I, me. And then at the end, it was a I, me, where he actually flipped it to where, oh, I was in a fog. I was this. So you're making excuses for what you did. And here's the problem. The problem is you are apologetic for what we saw in the place. That's what I think. So you're apologizing to us and everybody you hurt who actually put on the Oscars that year. Those are the people who you're apologizing to. And then
should.
And well, granted, yeah, but don't act like that's a Chris Rock's apology. Get your life. And that's something that you can't take back. And then at the end, he was saying, I got help and I got this, where he was actually putting himself as the victim. And that's what I heard. I heard he was dealing with something. He was the victim. He got his own problems. And this is what happened. No, either you're going to give an authentic apology or not. And you don't have to give it to us. And then you waited all this time. So guess what? You still weren't apologetic, because you went and got help to apologize publicly. Talk to me, people. I'm like, come on. Like, this isn't authentic. And then they asked the question, somebody asked, was that for Jada? Okay, who gonna really sit out there and be like, oh yeah, I saw my wife was upset, so that's why I responded. Who gonna do that? That's a sucker move.
That's what he claimed in the moment. And I said that didn't sit right with me, because of everything. But that's what he said in the moment. It was for Jada.
Exactly.
And I feel like, and you know what? When Jada don't have respect for him, it's understandable, because why are you going to put it on her, knowing that you did that for XYZ reason?
Well, he didn't have counseling, and counseling told him that clearly, and I'm just using this isn't allegedly, hear me, people. Counselor told him that, okay, it wasn't for her, it was for you. Get out of here. It was a whack apology. That's why there was a follow-up one. Okay. I felt like it was scripted. I felt like he was just reading, and this is what I need to say, because why? This is me. Motives. I'm all about the motives. I always want to know what's your motive. And you know what his motive is? I don't know what's going on in the movie world. I said he must have something coming up, and he needs the people to like him so that they can make their money, because he Mr. Box Office.
Right.
All right. Now listen. And speaking of the man, I look at him as like a weak man.
Who?
Will.
Yeah. And I feel like because men, you know how I feel. But they was, oh, he's a victim of Jada. She's a narcissist. She's a puppet master, and he has no control. If he's spineless and weak, and then turn around and blames her, I smacked him upside the head at the Oscars to protect you, and she knows that that's not the truth. That's just being even more weak.
Well, and yes. Now I want to talk about men conforming. Like you're with somebody, and then all of a sudden, your girl be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, he fly. I'm gonna steal him," but then he don't treat her the same way he treated you, because they're looking at him like, "Oh, well, follow me." Because I used to love me some Will Smith. I did, and I just think that when you with a particular person, you ever find somebody that you ever find a dude that is not attractive in no way, shape, form, or fashion, and I'd be like, I give him a shot. It ain't my MO, but I give him a shot. And then all of a sudden, he like everybody's attracted to him.
Yeah, because you increased his value.
Man, let's get into this. Let me introduce my guest. My guest, Mr. Roll With Me. Listen, y'all got to follow him on TikTok. I already told y'all. For you guys that are just now joining in, at Stanley Lamar PV, you got, man, listen. I'm going to introduce. Y'all figure it out for yourself. Let's give it up for the next, for our guest on Shop Talk with Mel, TikTok sensation, Mr. Roll With Me, Stanley Lamar PV. Let's give it up for him. A round of applause.
What's poppin'? How you doing? Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. What's about to roll?
Yeah, I'm going get ready to roll. It ain't time yet. I see that y'all keep censoring yourself. So is there a level of verbiage I need to stick to?
It's not on here because I can do that, but that's just some of the words be like way out of control. But just we gonna roll with it.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to be respectful.
Yeah, I just hit the button. For some of those, look, some that can take it and some that can't hit the button.
Trust me, I know all about that. I know all about that. So what we hitting on this morning?
We hitting on the bro code. The bro code. What is the bro code?
That is unwritten territory. Like that's not spoken every day. There's no book, no nothing. It's just written in our essence.
Okay, so like that, what we got? Some people felt like with Steve Harvey, what was it? Think like a man, act like a lady, or something other.
Yeah,
they felt that he was breaking the bro code.
In a way, he was. Now everything ain't ironclad, but in a way, when you telling a woman pretty much everything she needs to know, that's breaking the bro code. And pretty much that's what my platform is about, because I get told the same thing, that I break the bro code, that I talk too much.
Oh, you can talk. It's Shop Talk, baby. You can talk.
I get told all the time that I talk too much. So I'm like, but at the end of the day, y'all nagging bitch about women not understanding you. This is what I'm here for. I can get them the game. Yeah, they don't like that. They don't like that.
Okay. Now that one you were talking about, that one clip, which is the one that I shared, that I'm with 110%, where I was saying how, well, you were saying how women, guys perform to the woman that they're with.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to us about that.
Oh, no problem. Hold on. Roll with me on this. So the thing is, when a man is with a woman, she pretty much paints the narrative. So if she wants a passive man, he's going to be passive. If she wants a man that likes to take control, he's going to be the one that takes control. He's going to do whatever he got to do to please his woman, not necessarily being himself. You see what I'm saying? Like in a previous life, I'm more of a teddy bear, but I was told I didn't have a backbone. But because I wanted the woman so much, I became something that I didn't want to be. So I started being more aggressive. I started being things that technically I wasn't even trained to be, wasn't around, to make sure I can be what she needed me to be in her eyes, if that makes sense. You see what I'm saying?
It does. But then we ask, we want you to be who you are. And when we ask that, then when you become who you are, you're sucker.
Yep. Soft as tissue. That's exactly what it is. So what it means by finding the right woman, the right woman, and accept you really for who you are. You see what I'm saying? It just makes sure, okay, respect me, do what I need you to do at a base level, and not change the core of who you are. That's the type of woman that'll bring the best version of that man out. As most women that I've been with, it's like, I need you to be XYZ. If you ain't that, then I'm gonna need you to leave. Okay.
Just like that.
Just like that. I mean, they don't say it exactly like that, but when you boil that shit down, that's exactly what that means. Be what I need you to be, or there's the door. So it's like, what you expect a man to do when he's chasing you. He's gonna be what you need him to be.
Now, when you say chasing, I'm glad you brought that up because, as I heard and read, men are hunters.
Mm-hmm.
So when you hunt what you want, you conform to what they want.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. So it's like lying on a job application. Are you this? Do you have this? Do you have that? Can you be this? We like, shit, yeah. I most definitely can. Most definitely can. So technically, I hate to call us out on this. We are a bunch of liars in the beginning, because it's telling you everything you need to hear and then making the narrative true when it's time for the tires to hit the ground. So I'm calling us out on that. We lie in the beginning.
Okay, and that's a lot of the issue. No, honestly, that's a lot of the issue, because you might get with somebody to be like, now you lied, so our relationship was based on a lie. Okay, example. So I never forget. It was a guy, and he always would rub my feet. I'm putting it out there. Everybody know. Look, I like my feet done. Okay, that's why I said I need a somebody with a foot fetish, and it'll be heaven. But so he would rub my feet, and then all of a sudden he stopped. So you're talking like 3 months into their relationship. And I was like, well, you don't rub my feet no more. And he was like, oh, I got you now. Guess what happened? Yeah, I appreciated the honesty though. I was like, boom, I love it. Delete.
Right. I had the same experience.
Go ahead. What was yours?
Dude, we started talking and he was taking me out to dinner like once a week. You know what I'm saying? We go to, like Texas Roadhouse, something like nicer place. It'd be like once a week or once every 2 weeks. And then after we became exclusive, it stopped. And I was like, oh, what happened? He's like, oh, I can't afford that. I'm like, okay.
In cases as such, Mr.
Right.
I am guilty of that. I am guilty. Like when I was chasing my wife, I used to put my own needs to the side just so that I could afford the things that I knew she would want. So the intent behind it was good, but I wasn't Cat Williams on that shit. I couldn't do that all day, every day, no problem. That wasn't me. My pockets wasn't set up for that. But it got me where I needed to be. You feel me? So
do they propose prior to stopping? Is that
right? You gotta lock it down completely.
Shut up.
Yeah, we do put on a little bit of front. So to be clear, we're not totally liars, but in areas where we feel like we're lacking, we will put on a little bit of front to make sure we get to the finish line.
Go ahead.
I don't want to be like it's all the dudes, because I feel like women, you've heard that saying where it's like women fall in love with their ears, so men lie. Men fall in love with their eyes, so women alter their appearance. So when right, we get we do our hair, we put on we got the makeup game down where it's a transformation. It's actual like sorcery. Like you look completely different. So women do the same thing. And I actually had a dude. He was like, actually, I don't like makeup. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, and he told me an experience he had where it was like night and day. It was scary, right? And I said, okay, well, when we go out, I'm gonna wear makeup because that's how I feel. But if we're just if we're just kicking it at your house or something, I won't wear makeup. And the next time we got together, I didn't wear no makeup. And he was like, oh, okay, you got a pretty face. So I respect
right on the first date.
I think that's so. I've heard that from like the manosphere and stuff, and I think that's so disrespectful. Like, just keep it 100. Like, you'd be like, I want to see what you. He was literally like, I want to see what you look like without makeup on. So the next time we got together, I didn't wear makeup. Like, keep it 100. Just be honest. You ain't got to sit here and throw water in their face or something so you can see what they really look like. Yeah.
Now, for me though, because I want to go back to Mrs. Mel point. Sometimes it isn't the fact that it's not him. Also, sometimes it can be the fact that you stopped doing something as to why he didn't want to rub your feet. Also,
okay.
Because that's my page in my book where I'm very dutiful, as my wife calls it. But when I don't get what I need, stuff starts falling off.
Okay.
So the foot rubs, the bubble baths, that's my shit. You work a long day, I got the wine on the side of the tub, the bubble baths, the bowl of fruit. I'm rubbing your feet. I'm all that. And that's literally who I am. But when she turns off, I turn off. And that's the bro code. That's literally how we get you back on track.
Now that's interesting because guess what? When you guys turn off, we turn off.
Exactly. I was just gonna say that. That's how a lot of relationships fall apart. Because you
turned off
a negative feed cycle, a negative feed loop. You know what I'm saying? And then it goes down.
Yeah. The love cycle.
But to me, in my experience,
go ahead.
We both turn off. Don't get me wrong, and we both wrong. I'll take accountability on that. That ain't no problem. But where it fails to kick back up, and I'm speaking from my experience, everybody can come at me if they want to, is once we get to that point, it's the woman that goes, fix it. And I'm going to stand here and see how long you're going to get your act together before I get mine together. So now we're just stuck.
Right. So you're stuck. But watch this, though. So you have females we're like, okay, we're in this relationship. We're emotional beings. We are. And you get our mind, our body will follow. So there is that's why they tell you to read books. Like when you're in a marriage, read these books during the day, some type of sex book, so you could be turned on when you get home. So if he didn't wash the dishes or nothing like that, you still already ready, versus where men can just turn on off sex button. That's what I think. That's
we got to get y'all the world to keep y'all in the mood.
Right. So if you ain't rubbing my feet, but that don't mean sex when you rub my feet. Let me
exactly
in audience. That means thank you very much, because I've been on my feet all day. Like you said, I truly appreciate it. This is something you really care. Now you have people who actually will like buy jewelry and all that. That stuff is not important to me because I can get it for myself. What's me is quality time. I'm a time person, and you can't be in jail because I ain't coming to visit while you do time. Okay, I need time spent with me where it shows there's an effort. And if at the beginning, you putting forth the effort, and it's like, okay, I can work with this, boom, and then all of a sudden you're like, I got you now, and then you don't want to put forth the effort, that's a problem.
So rubbing your feet ain't spending time?
Oh, no, I appreciate that, but when you stop talking about I got you now.
Right. Okay, so I have a question. Like you said, they stop and then the man stops, and then y'all both stop and you're stuck. So in your experience, how does the relationship typically get unstuck and you can start moving forward and get back on a better footing with your partner? Because I'm sure, as we all know, any long-term relationship you're in, you're going to come to a point where y'all get stuck. And so it's not, to me, it's not about, avoiding, a part of it is avoiding getting stuck, but how do you become unstuck once you realize, oh, we're stuck, we're at an impasse in our romantic connection?
Now, me and my wife been married going on 3 years now, and there's been times where we've been in that place, and because she's so emotional, I have to become her punching bag. So what ends up happening is I become a yes man, and I yield to all of that emotion to get her to come out of that sunken place. If I go back at her, we ain't going no fucking where. We just gonna be, well, you do the shit too. Well, you do, that's the shit I'm talking about, Stanley. It's always that tit for tat shit with you. And it's like, okay, all right. So I noticed that the men have to yield the most in order for the woman to blossom. Because if not, we just ain't gonna go nowhere. She's gonna always feel like I'm attacking her. And I had to learn that very quickly, because there were times we would be in this bitch a week. No yams, no cooking, no speaking, no nothing. And it's like, and I just figured out, like, just shut up. All right. Mm-hmm. You hungry, you good, and it worked.
Now that's interesting that you should say that, because I have an issue when you're speaking in marriage. Let me say that I had a husband, so you know,
Jesus.
yeah, in marriage, you know what I'm saying? The turn off, the punishment. I'm not okay with that, with the punishment. Like I agreed to go into this marriage. I said my vows. It's like, okay, I'm not going to not do what we agreed to, because we came to the table and this is what was expected. We had this was our contract. I'm not going to not do because I'm upset. Now I can still be upset and do. Now, if you want to eat it, it's up to you, but it's going to be available. It ain't gonna be no Dateline type stuff, you know what I mean? No 21st, 48 type gig, you know what I'm saying? But usually, like, you be like, you still doing it. Usually, a guy be like, I'll go out, you know what I'm saying? Or, I still did my part. I still held up to my end of the bargain. And I don't like, I'll see and I'll hear where, women will say, well, he ain't getting this. Well, it's somebody outside that's waiting, because they see how he treats you. And they see how he treats you. And then they're like waiting, like, because that's the man they always wanted. But what happens is, once that guy go out, then the girl realizes that, or female realizes that this is not the same person. And then they ask you the question, were they like this with you? Nah, that's not my experience. Or ex maybe, and he might be dating somebody else. And I've had that where a female asks, but like, oh wow, did he do that with you? I was like, that wasn't my experience. So that's why I felt you on that one, because I was like, oh, so I got the whole different thing. I had somebody tell me that I was so expensive, and I was like, I ain't asked you for a dime. They was like, I spent so much money with you. I was like, what? And we're cool. And I was like, I ain't asked you for a dime. They was like, no, but he had to shop. He said when he knew he was coming to see me, he would shop, because he wasn't used to dressing, clearly. But when I met him, he was dressed. Mm-hmm. And every time he would come, I know he had on new clothes, a new outfit every day. So he ended up telling me that. He was like, oh, you were so expensive. And when he said that, I was outdone, because I thought he dressed nice. I was like, oh, that's sharp. Well, I guess in his mind, he was like, let me go get another outfit. She liked this one. You know what I mean? Totally different. And then you see the dude, you be like, dang, they fell off. What happened? Well, that's who he was.
Was, right. Who he was.
But I met him at a wedding.
Mm-hmm.
So he was dressed.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like.
Have you ever told him you fell in love with what you met?
No, I didn't. I don't think I did.
You sure?
I don't know if I said I was in love, but
I mean, you liked what you saw. I mean,
yeah, definitely. That's why I came up. I seen him from across.
But see, that's the thing. That goes to show you, men actually listen to women. You see what I'm saying? You open that door and be like, hey, when I met you, you was so he's trying to keep that up in fear that you're gonna lose interest in him if he's anything other than that.
Yeah, but I didn't say that at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like every time I seen him, he was fly. And so it didn't come like he didn't. Okay, all right. I never. Okay, maybe I probably did because there was
I see where you're going because my wife, what she did to me was, like I said, I'm very all over the place. You so much as drop something, I'm picking it up. So you get out of the lovey-dove phase where y'all effing like jackrabbits and whatnot. When you get out of that phase, you start to mellow out. So when I mellowed out, she was distraught. She was like, "You used to do this, you used to do that," and I'm like,
because that question's there. Who are you?
Like, exactly.
Right. Well,
but see, hold up, whoa, because when we first meet y'all, come on now, be real. Freaky Frito be on the table. Y'all be doing headstands and every damn thing. You can hold y'all breath for a minute and a half, all that shit. And then the second y'all don't like us no more, there's a problem. Now y'all scared to get locked jaw. Like, what happened to her?
Well, and I think,
Tell them, baby.
I think you definitely, and I think what we're discussing is like the honeymoon phase when you're trying to impress each other and you're super invested, you're super interested, and everything's fresh and new. Versus when you get into an established relationship and then the energy changes. And I think a lot of men and women don't realize that, you know, some things you're seeing as a problem is actually just you transitioning out of the honeymoon phase. It doesn't mean there's an actual problem with your relationship.
Okay, so at the beginning, you look and you think you got a king. And then when that person come out, you realize it's a clown. You know, you can't put a crown on a clown and call him a king. Be careful who you bow down to.
And we tired of the fake porn stars. We sick of that. You can't be Pinky in the beginning, then you turn into a college schoolgirl later. We don't like that shit. We hate that. We hate it.
So how do you address that? From a male
for a man, we don't, because we're scared of the consequence. There's a lot of stuff we don't tell y'all because we are scared that why you with me then? Why are we doing this if everything I do bother you? So you got a problem with everything that I do and don't do? Like, what's the problem? There's always a critical consequence to when a man opens his mouth for the majority of us. Now, I know there's some outliers that are gonna be, I don't do my man like that, then chick, we ain't talking to you. But for the majority of them, it's just they always go critical. And once I've learned that, my marriage couldn't have not been better. And I hate to admit it because it's like, Dad, were you hindering yourself? It's unless it's critical, unless it's I'm looking like I'm finna have an arm cut off. I don't tell my wife shit. There's no point. No point, because the consequence gonna be a motherfucker.
Now I gotta ask you this question.
Paint a picture, take me there.
It is the consequences from something you think, you know, being exposed to Black women growing up as a child that you like, okay, I already know how this is gonna go, versus fresh eyes, new person, and she may not respond like the older females that I've been exposed to.
For me, it's how she was raised and the past trauma she's went through. It just, now women are, I'm not gonna deal with your bullshit. They're short-wicked now. So it's just one of those things where if I'm the prize, why do I got to deal with this shit? Yeah, I ain't got to deal with this. I'm out. And it's always, no matter what relationship I've been in, I've always been hit with that. Even when I was in high school, like, we can sever this. Like, what are we talking about? Because I know there's dudes that want your spot. Like, I even got exes that want me back right now. Like, do you know how that make a man feel? Like, there's a million and one reasons why a man rarely speaks in his relationship. He's just a do boy.
Interesting.
Now, I'm probably giving up the bro code, so I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack later, but I don't care. I'm Mr. Roll with me.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
So this is something I learned in like management training. I don't know if you ever heard of a positivity sandwich. And I feel like it really works. I mean, I don't know. Is that something that men have tried and it's unsuccessful?
Men suck at communication. There's nothing we say that's going to be palatable for a woman.
No. Like, for example, like, I really appreciate that you cook me dinner every night, but sometimes I feel like your fish has a little bit too much salt. If you could, reduce that, I would appreciate it. And then end with another positive, you know what I'm saying? So it's like a good thing, then the criticism in the middle, and then it end with a good thing.
Girl, you already know we females.
No, you gonna focus right on the negative.
Go ahead.
Y'all gonna focus right on the negative. There's nothing like I could literally have a conversation with my wife and go, all this positive stuff. The second I get to the negative, she will stop in her tracks. So what you saying? Yeah. Like that's what we on. Like she won't move past that. So that shit sandwich you talking about don't work. Don't work.
You just put a bow on it. That's right. Just a bow on the criticism.
Right.
An empty box. Like here's your gift, and it's whatever you make it. Interesting. I don't know how that'll work. Look, and I answered that question was to him, but I answered that like because I'm gonna be stuck on that. I'm like, okay, well, you really like my cooking, and then you say, but your fish is salty. I'll be like, oh, okay, well, I guess he don't like fish. Look, I ain't got fish down. So,
oh goodness! I mean, I would just be like, okay, I'll use less salt then.
Oh, that's so nice.
Like it's not. I mean, I used a real easy example just to describe a positivity sandwich, but obviously I liked
your easy example. It didn't work.
Right.
That's just like hygiene though. Like y'all can easily tell a man his hygiene is off and tell us, well, shit, if I can't tell you something wrong with you, then who can, baby? But when a man tells you something that
Ever get ready to go in on this one? Go
ahead. y'all can't handle that. Y'all be ready to melt down. So you don't think I'm snatched? Like you don't see me as attractive? Like that will fuck the week up.
What? We're like, no, I think that okay, so first of all, everything he's saying is true. First of all, everything he's saying is true. Okay, but I think that if that's something that is the woman's shortcoming, because if she can critique your appearance or whatever, then obviously you should be able to do hers as well. And I feel like the difference is because there's a much greater emphasis on a woman's outward appearance than on a man's historically, and that's why women tend to be more sensitive about it. Personally, I feel like there's some people who feel like you need to accept a person the way they are physically because it's unlikely to change, and then a lot of times when people do change physically, then their mindset changes too. And then you start with a fat girl because you're like, oh yeah, I like big girls. Then she loses weight, get a new attitude, and then y'all relationship is over. So it's like, you should just, take someone for what they currently look like, because a lot of times, even if you're pushing someone for positive change, if the positive change happen, it can negatively impact your relationship.
Now that's true. Now I want to get to this hygiene. He's absolutely right. We could tell the dude, be like, oh, you musty. I think if a guy tell you, be like, oh, you musty. Like, it might be a little different. And that is so accurate because I'll never forget. I'm putting him out. My child came home and he let a girl wear his hoodie. He threw it away. I had a problem with that. This was in school. And I'm like, what are you doing? He was like, yeah, she musty. I said, you didn't tell her? And
or wash it?
Yeah, or wash it, right? That's but I said, maybe she don't know. He was like, no. And he was totally turned off. So can we, and it's a legitimate question, can we handle if a guy tell us that we don't smell fresh, or our hygiene is off, but we could tell them their hygiene is off. So Amber D, the analyst,
I think that no, I think no. It's hypocritical. It's a double standard. But there's all kinds of double standards, and that's definitely one of them.
Why though?
I'm waiting on that answer.
It's because the difference. I think it's because the way men and women are socialized differently. And I also feel like if it's some, I think it's one of those, like he has said, very sensitive topics, and if it's available to you, bringing someone else into, like, have your sister talk to her about it, have your mama talk, another
female. That's somebody's mother I'm dating, and I'll be like, you told your mother? Now your mother know my snatch is whack?
Well, okay, well, I mean, no, okay.
Well, my mama gonna go in.
Someone who you feel confident can handle it better than you can, not someone who will handle it worse. But I'm the type of person, like, if you got a booger in your nose, I'd be like, you got something right there. You know what I'm saying? Because then it's like, oh, you let me walk around with a booger hanging out my nose and you didn't tell me. Like, you wanted me to be embarrassed, right?
No, but we got to stick to your mate telling you.
Okay, so in your mate, you should
wait. So you're not. Let me be clear. Mate, spouse, whoever. I mean, if y'all intimate, hopefully they should be able to tell you that. The thing is, I don't want you to tell somebody else my monkey junkie. You know what I mean? Then it's all out there like, oh no, you know what I'm saying? And then the next dude be like, and then it'll be a whisper thing. Ever you already know, but like, yeah, I heard whoopty woo. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, I think it's definitely a double standard. It's definitely a double standard. And I feel like because men know that it's a double standard, and they'll, like I said, there'll be severe critical consequences if they choose to say something. It's like, you either really have to like them and want the relationship to work out, to bring it up, or you didn't like them enough to say anything. And you're just like, let me just cut ties and move on to someone who's not stinky.
What would be your, so the men can hear it and the women. So I hear y'all saying, I even see it in the comments, people saying they wouldn't be able to handle it. So what would be your reaction to a man telling you, hey, your pH off, sweetie? I can't handle that. Like, how are you going to handle that? What would be your natural response? Y'all tell us our hang lows be salty all the time.
I would definitely be honest about my feelings being hurt. But then I would, because to me, we and Mel had talked about this. You might not actually, my theory is that you're not compatible with each other on a genetic level if you don't like the other person's body odor. And I'm talking about normal body odor. They might have, if outside of like an infection or a disease or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mel, some penises can throw your pH off. It doesn't mean that the penis is diseased. It could just, because some women have what?
It could be dirty.
Uncircumcised.
Right, exactly. Like their penis is not clean. You know what I'm saying? And that'll throw your pH off. And I think this is, especially if you're being intimate with someone and you're not using protection, then yeah, you're to the point where you should be having completely transparent conversations, because you're swapping bodily fluids at that point. And so if it's like, well, if it didn't start off that way and it was something that started to develop, then yeah, that it would be a whole conversation if it was me. But yeah, if it's like not like where you think, oh man, she might have a disease, like, oh, she might have an infection, like she just, like, it just don't smell that great to you. Maybe y'all just aren't y'all don't compliment each other good.
Roll with me. Let's take it a step. No, let's take it a step deeper. So the thing is, this is a true example of the consequences men will go through. Now, if you told me, let's say you told me my little area wasn't all the way together, I'll just pick up and take 2 showers a day. Like, babe, hey, I'm making sure I'm straight for you. So when we get to do, we good. Literally, if I told my wife, her pH was off, sex would be absent in this bitch.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Let's
because
keep it a buck.
what if it's a medical thing?
But see, it's always
That's
what if.
different.
Like when a man
That's what
hears
you know what I'm
something,
saying.
when a man hears something, we got the mentality to get up and go fix it because we don't want that to stop. Y'all will get in y'all head, whether it's medical or not, and kill all systems go. Like y'all will put a red button on everything. No, we're not doing this. We're done. Nope. Until I can get over it. I'm in here nuts heavy than a motherfucker.
But you know what that is? But that's what they tell you. If there's a medical issue, you should stop until it gets cleared up.
Okay, hold on. If you want in on this conversation, feel free to do so. The phone number here is 619-902-2287, 619-902-2287. All right, today's guest is Mr. Roll With Me, TikTok sensation. Make sure you guys follow him at Stanley Lamar Peavy. That's Peavy. All right, go ahead, Amber. Amber D, and I didn't tell you, Amber D, the analyst. She don't have the analyst on there, but I'm sure you can figure that out by now.
Well, no, I mean, if anyone, if everything has ever been off or you've ever had a concern, they'll tell you, yeah, stop. Or maybe, are you talking about, she could do oral, or you could do other activities while the pH
let me clean it up. Let me make this a perfect scenario for you to analyze. I'm just saying this off because she just didn't wash it right. It ain't medical. It literally, she ain't got the vinegar in the bathroom, none of that. It's just off. So why can't I tell a woman your little stuff is off? And you just go take a shower like a man would and get you together, get you some Summer's Eve, put the breeze down there, and we just get back to going at it. Y'all are not that simple like men are. Men are just go get a bar of soap. Now I prefer Ivory. I'm old school. Hit it. Get back to the bedroom, and I'm ready to go.
Okay, Ivory,
it don't click the same.
pH. Go ahead, caller. You're on live with Shop Talk. Go ahead with your question. Let me see that. Hold on a minute. Let's get you going. All right, you there?
Good morning, Shop Talkers. This is Saeed from Columbus, Ohio. How y'all doing this morning?
All right.
Good morning, Mr. Roll With Me. I got an answer to your question.
Go ahead.
My husband told me that my pH was off a little bit. So what I had to do was I changed my diet. So what I had to do was start eating more fruits and vegetables. I had to make sure that I cut out some of the vegetables that I had and figure out what it was to make it a lot better for him. So once I started doing that, he noticed the change and he spoke up and he was like, "What did you do?" So we laughed about it. But then what I did is I started putting honey in his water. And he just kept saying, I'm drinking my lemon water and it just tastes a little bit different every now and then. He's like, "I know I'm not doing nothing different." So what I would do was squirt the honey in his water, and let's just say it would make him taste better.
Okay.
So we balanced it out. How about that? And he didn't even know until we had a discussion again, and it worked out for the both of us. So those little changes make a big difference. So I wasn't offended. I appreciated the fact that he was telling me something that he did not like. So I changed it, but I also made it better for the both of us.
So you didn't tell him.
Right.
You just put some honey in there.
Yep. We balanced ourselves out with that, but it could have been a heated argument had I had been offended by him telling me about myself. But I had to look at it like, hold on. Now, if the shoe was on the other foot, what would I do?
True.
So even though he didn't know, he appreciated it once he found out why.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for sharing your experience with us.
I gotta pay homage.
I'm enjoying the show this morning, you guys. Keep it up. It's sounding real good.
I gotta pay homage. Mrs. Taylor is one of the reasons why Mr. Roll With Me exists.
Okay.
I gotta make sure she gets the credit and the flowers that is due. Before I was even a thing, she and several others were like, you got something. Expand on it. And Mr. Roll With Me became a thing. She's one of the founding members of Mr. Roll With Me.
Okay, then. All right. Go ahead, Miss Taylor. Look, go ahead, Miss Taylor. All right.
So actually, I have a question for Mel based on the caller. So how long would it take for a dietary change to affect your odor?
See, usually that can take up to 24 to 48 hours, depending on your diet, because it takes 4 hours for the body to actually digest food. Mm-hmm. So that's why they say eat it like 8, 12, 4, not after, after 7, if you're trying to eat properly. Okay, I'm using air quotes for the listening audience as well. So just know that. And let me say this too. Look, add on since I got to. It takes 4 hours for food to digest. So if you eat at 8 o'clock, that food that you ate at 8 o'clock is going to take 4 hours. But understand, if you decide to get a bag of chips at 9:30, 10, you just started that process over. So when you start that process over, you have your waste sitting in there because it didn't actually take the total 4 hours. Okay. So just pay attention to that and what you eat. Now, she says certain food. Now, let me tell you, ladies, if you have eaten asparagus and you pee and you be like, what is that? It is the asparagus. Now, if it takes you 48 hours, that's a long time, but 24 hours and you smell it, that lets you know how long it takes for your body to digest. Because some people, you can eat the asparagus and then you'd be like, okay, maybe like 5 hours later, you'd be like, what is that smell? Think, what did I eat? Okay. So when she said the vegetables, fruit, of course, what was it that, who was that? Kevin Hart with the pineapples?
Right. And I've heard about pineapples too. And I've tried it. So.
And now even with candy off of Candy Coated Nights, when Saeed was calling, talking about the honey. Mm-hmm. And she said, you want to get them because they be talking about my girl Candy Burris on Housewives of Atlanta, talking about she done been out there. But listen, she's snatching them, okay? But she was saying you put a little, and I'm thinking it was her. Don't quote me on it, lovely people, okay? But you take the honey and you put it in there in your vaginal area. That's why this show ain't for kids. So cover your baby's ears.
She fine. She don't understand a thing.
And with your bodily fluids, your secretions, that creates that, as Snoop would say, sticky, icky.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I need that.
She said, I don't want to put the baby on game yet.
Yeah.
Nah, she know her daddy. So my thing is, the topic is about bro code. So y'all need to take full advantage of this topic. There gotta be questions y'all won't answer on the bro code as to like, would y'all do XYZ or would y'all say this about that? Like, I don't think y'all are taking full advantage of this.
Listen, I'm about to. Yeah, we better hurry. Oh, we gotta hurry up, get you off. You got a show.
I don't got a show today.
Oh, okay. I thought you had a show. Blackstrap said, y'all have open wounds. We don't. Accuracy. Medically as well. The accuracy on that comment. Because we are open to everything. Yeast grows warm, dark places. Bacteria grows warm, dark places. Mold. I'm trying to give you mold grows.
Everything. Yeah.
Warm, dark, moist places. Let me add the word moist in there. So you got to know it can happen. And I'm glad that she called and she shared that information regarding the smell. But it is sad that, because Nick Cannon, remember they blasted him and he's talking about 80% of women's coochie stink. Probably because you with this person, that
right.
person, when it's a thing called bacterial vaginosis. Y'all already know I'm a nurse. I ain't going to go all into that. But bacterial vaginosis, all those different pHs throwing it off and you'll get that diagnosis. Go ahead, Mr. Roll with me.
I'm glad we are on this topic. So I will start opening up on why we have unwritten bro code. So one of them is, that's the reason why men can't handle when a woman cheats on us. If you take that off the table, cheating is like the same thing. I can go out, do what I got to do, come back. You can go out and do what you got to do and come back. The reason why we can't handle when a woman cheats on us is because it's internal. Nothing goes in, 100% comes out.
Huh.
And that's the reason why we be sitting there jacked up. We can handle your past, don't get me wrong. But anything going forward is like a gut check to us because soul ties, all of that, especially if y'all went raw, we are fucked up in the head just because of that.
Because we went raw.
But so, they go raw.
So because we are internal, I mean, I don't understand. Did that mean because he dropped something off? Like it's in-house?
Yep, all that. Whether it's semen, whether it's STD, whether, and I know y'all gonna say women always go to the go-to as Amber did. That goes both ways. our piping is totally different. I can go hit a wash rag and whoop, hit the mic, we good. No, like it's so, even if we did oral, like his tongue gotta go in there. Like, no, don't nobody. It's like having a Thanksgiving plate. That plate look pretty as hell until somebody put their hands on it. Then you don't want them on the plate no more. It's the same thing. Don't touch my plate. It never looks the same to a man after that once it's been tampered with. Now that's a double standard, I know, but that's just one that I'm sorry. This is one for the men. We don't look at it the same. The second it's touched, fuck it. You can go let everybody else touch that thing now. I don't want it.
I like the analogy of the food. Mm-hmm. It's like somebody else is just sitting out there, everybody just eating off of it, then you're supposed to just go ahead and eat it. You don't want it.
No, ma'am.
No, Amber, why is it that we don't see things that way?
I know, I see it that way. You know, yeah, for a guy, I don't like a man with a high body count. I don't do cheating. It's not like, oh, I can forgive him. It's a wrap for me personally, because I look the same way. And yeah, as receptors, it's different. Like as far as like actual cells and STDs and babies and all that stuff. But when it comes to soul ties, I feel it's the same thing. You're still out there creating connection, a spiritual connection with another woman while we're supposed to be together. So I think that, yeah, I guess I just look at it like a man, where it's just like, nah, I can't accept it. I can't tolerate it as a woman. But like he said, it's a double standard. You know, it's just an example of a double standard. It's just, you know, one of those things.
One more piece to that. I ain't and you seen that movie, The Best Man?
Yes.
Remember when he was up there trying to say I do to his wife? He kept replaying images in his head about what could have happened. That's how a man thinks. Like, especially if we know dude. Like, we can look at you. We can wake up the next day like, babe, we're going to try to move past this. But every time we look at you, we can see him making you make the faces that only I is supposed to make you make. We vividly, it's like right here, like it don't move.
And you know what's interesting? It's the same thing for us. Like everything you do to me, you did that to them. Mm-hmm. And that thought is there where it's like, oh, okay, well, you know, just when you thought you were special, it's like, oh, well, you're not special because this is what you do. Performance.
Yeah.
See, so that's why I was like, and some women are more forgiving because we're so emotional. And the part that it really drives me nuts, but you can't help it. And by us being nurturers and being emotional, what do? We accept you for who you are. Okay, this happened here, so I'll forgive you. The problem is, to me, I done forgave you. Now you go do it again. She's going to forgive me again. It's that maternal thing. I'm telling you, your child mess up. What do? Okay, don't do that again. Whereas if you look at even parenting, you got the man parenting and you have the dad parenting and the mom parenting. Totally different. Here we go. Okay, come on. Let's not do that again. Let me show you what you did wrong. You don't want to do that again. Whereas they say the father is more stern. So come on, ladies, we got to be like, accept what you will and don't accept what you won't. And I'm with you, Amber. That's my deal breaker.
Well, and I have a
I
question.
want to feel special.
Right.
I want everything everybody had.
Right, exactly. But my thing is when women and men, because I think this is something that tends to be underreported, and we're talking in marriage right now. I'm not talking about dating, where there's infidelity and then you try to work past it or whatever. It's like, to me, it's like, did you really forgive them? Did you really work past it? Or are you choosing to stick it out for XYZ reasons, as most that's common sense, because I don't believe that marriage is just about love. And then you're like taking opportunities to to dig at them and poke at them and to get your retribution for the harm, the emotional harm, for the betrayal, right? And so I feel like that's something, like, if you've done any research on like infidelity and stuff in marriage, that's usually like a very common period after the infidelity, after the couple decides to attempt to reconcile. There's this period of time where one party like can't move past it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that whether you're the man or the woman who's experienced the infidelity, it's like, I feel like most people, if they're being truly honest with themselves, can't get past it. So it's like, why are you continuing to drag out the marriage knowing that you can't forgive it?
Knowing that you're a roommate.
No,
Right.
I can't
Go
deep
ahead.
dive too much into it because of legal purposes. But I can speak for a lot of men. I ain't gonna say all, for the technical other lovers out there. We can't. I can't. And it's not even about full blown procreation. It can be a kiss on the lips. If you, because I don't believe in heated moments. I believe my wife is my temple, my playground. I made that vow before God. That's mine. You know what I mean? I'm old school country, so I got that kind of feel. But don't touch it, because the second you touch it, I will never look at it the same. I won't be able to approach it the same. It'll taste funny to me. Like, no, the lot number fucked up on that, because I can't. I
It's
can't.
a recall.
I have a question, a follow-up question with that. So what is your opinion, since that's your perspective, what is your opinion as a married man on opposite sex friendships and touching? Not, like you said, not sexual, just
Well, you don't.
Now, luckily for me, knock on wood, that was one of the easiest conversations I had in my marriage, because my wife don't do opposite sex friends, and I don't. We just good looking. So keep it move. So that was easy. But for me, I just told my wife this. This is funny. I told her this like 2-3 weeks ago. I personally can't have an opposite sex friend, even if we decided we could. And I'm gonna tell you why. Here go a little bit of the bro code.
Go ahead.
I don't care how long a man has been friends with somebody. Birds of a feather flock together. So Miss Mel, Miss Amber, according to how y'all look, I'm pretty sure y'all friends are gonna look somewhere near decent, like y'all are higher. You ain't gonna be friends with no mud duck. I'm not gonna have a mud duck as a friend. I'm sorry, it is what it is. So with that being said, let's say I do have an opposite sex friend. At some point, I'm gonna look at her and go, damn, Miss Taylor looking kind of thick today. I hit, because I know I will have that thought process at some point. There's a chance that somewhere down the line I may or may not act on that. You see what I'm saying? What if me and my wife is on the rocks? What if something ain't right? What if she kicked me out? What if I need a shoulder to cry on? The most dangerous woman to have around your man is a shoulder to cry on. I can't do that. I know for a fact I'm weak in that area. So before I invite that in and use that maturity bullshit, yeah, that's an insecurity within yourself. If you can't have fuck all that, I know for a fact if my friend thick and look anywhere near decent, I'm gonna look at all that and go, but I'll hit though. A man has said that at least once. He's lying if he tell you he hasn't. That is a fucking lie.
And I agree. Because I don't do opposite sex friendships. I would say not in the physical sense, but the emotional sense. I saw a meme and it said, never let a dude around your girl because a shoulder to cry on becomes a dick to ride on. You know what I'm saying? So as far as, and like you said, you're going through a rough patch in your marriage, and then you got a shoulder to cry on. You have someone you have that, you have established the emotional connection, the emotional safe space. That's how it's, but for women, because women tend to cheat with emotion. Emotion comes first and then comes physical later. So if you already have that emotional connection with somebody, you just invite, you know what I'm saying? You already got the groundwork laid. You know what I'm saying? And if your priority is your marriage and your union, then I'm just like, no. But I would like, that's why I had brought it up, because I have run into men who are like, oh, that's so weird, and like, I'm allowed to have friends and all that type of stuff. And I'm just like, okay. But
very, very rare do you see people go, I had a male friend for 30-some years. We never yeah, I hear you. There's always somebody, like, no matter what you bring up, there's always somebody that can say, I ain't never done that. No, majority of the people have. You just one of those people that got lucky and can keep that man in the friend zone. But let's be true here. Men don't have fine ass women just to have them in the friend zone. That is the stupidest. That if me and my homie have a conversation right now, and if I see his friend and she bad, I'm like, now you waiting on Mr. James to fuck up. Just go on keep it real with me. You waiting on him to fuck up, because ain't no fucking way you got that as a friend. And we'll be candid with each other, but I ain't gonna lie. Maybe we'll never get in a relationship, but if she ever thought of throwing that ass back, I will catch it. That's just how them conversations go.
I can appreciate your honesty. No, Amber, I got to speak on this. Okay. Yes, I still do male friends. I get along with men better than I do females, and that is the truth. I have never crossed the line. Like Amber was saying, she was like, and touch it. No, you don't touch me, because if I'm your friend, that's it. I'm your friend. And here's the part to get me. If you have a friend and you get married and she can't be your wife's friend, because I have stepped back where my homeboy, I knew he liked this girl so much. Oh my gosh, he was like trying to get at her for a long time. Her problem was me. I couldn't figure out why. And I'm like, what? And he was trying to fight for me. I told him, I was like, listen, I know you've been at her for a long. I said, it's all good. I scaled back. And he didn't want to hurt my feelings because we were friends, like a true friend. And yes, I have friends for 30, 20, 30 years, strictly friends. Now, I believe what Mr. Roll With Me is talking about. Do I think that they probably would have got at me? I don't, but I'm not stupid. It's me. That is my friend. I'm not crossing that line. And then, a shoulder to cry on is a dizzle to ride on. Let me say this. Y'all might disagree, but like this ShopTalk with Mel, opinions only, okay? And we all got one. You cannot tell me, I don't care what nobody say. If a female cheats, it's because she wanted to. You can't tell me, oh, okay, this happened. It was, like you say, the heat of the moment, the whole night. We got so many things to think about because we are thinkers and we are emotional. Our mind is thinking about from the off the rip. Whoa, wait a second. And you know how you're feeling. So now you got to think. They don't have to sit there. We don't do the unzip pull out. We got to take our pants legs off, underwear off. You got all that time to think about what it is that you're about to do. So if a woman cheats, listen, it's because she wanted to. Boom.
Let me slap. Oh, go ahead.
Bobo, I think men.
Wait. I want to hear what he has to say.
Let me slide in this one real quick. Roll with me on this. So we don't even have to get as far as cheating. Women are very thorough. They are very thorough. Where a man to act off impulse when it comes to certain stuff like that. We'll go, that in the moment, let's go. So let's take cheating off the table. Don't you know a man would never look at you the same if you told him you wanted to leave? if you told him you wanted out. And the reason why he won't is because we know for a fact we just didn't piss you off in the moment and you went, man, I'm sick of this shit. I'm finna go. No, you've been like, let's see, we only got these couple bills tied up with each other. We can split that. That ain't shit. Even if you want to catch a little bitch ass attitude, I can carry that till his little phone paid off. We can co-parent. I live here. All right, we can separate that. Matter of fact, and James at work has been looking cute, and he been at me, and he a higher caliber man than he is. Grass may be greener. Y'all done sat here and thought all this shit out. And because of that is why when you tell a man like, hey man, hey, this might not be it. That to some men, including me, I'll speak for myself. That's a bigger gut punch than you cheating. Because we know, like a project manager, you done hit your checklist. You've already checked off all the boxes. Like, all right, I'm at the end of the checklist. Is this something I want to consider? Okay, now let me tell this man, hey, you better get your shit together. I'm out. To us, half the work has already been done. You just ain't pulled the trigger yet.
And that's why we make better cheaters.
Right. And I feel like because we in dating and in relationships, our biggest priority is security. So before you leave a man, just because you don't like this, that, and the other, you got to go through the whole checklist and be like, okay, I got to balance this out, this, that. And by the end, you're like, you know what? It's worth it. And then you tell him, like, listen, I'm done. I think I'm done. Yeah, we definitely do that. Definitely.
Now that's calm. That's calm what you said. But he's 110% right. I'm rolling with you on that one. I'm rolling with you on that one because it is the truth. We just sat here and be like, okay, boom, boom, boom. And already sick of the mess. So once we're already sick of it, we like, okay, so because I did, even in my divorce, no lie, I was like, dang, I'm gonna have to pay the bills. All right. You know, like, do I want to do this? Okay. My needs are coming. You know, you think about all of that. Now you were talking about, you said in marriages and not as far as like cheating. You, Amber, you spoke about marriages and not dating. So I'm on the dating side, and I want to ask Mr. Roll with me this question. Because I'm a logical thinker. You're dating someone, you are still single. They cheating, but you're not married, so they're still single. If you are dating someone who is a cheater, and then he decides to propose to you, does that suggest that he will be a cheater? Because I told you what his mindset. You went there with me. He's single, and then he proposed to you. I'm gonna leave that life alone. Do they stop cheating when you get married?
That story.
Just speaking generally.
I'm gonna answer your question first, bluntly. No, but that story is all kinds of fucked up because it's like how you go from dating to popping the question. Because at some point, if you're dating exclusively, that's a commitment.
Let me put this extra piece in there, which is important. He's down to 2 women, and both of them know each other. And they know about each other, and then he chooses this one.
He ain't gonna stop. He ain't ready for a damn thing. You can go hang that up. That's some bullshit there. Like, I wouldn't expect a woman to take me serious if she found out she was an option, period. Whether cheating was on the table or not. I wouldn't take a woman serious because I just learned some shit the other day. A woman told me I can date multiple people because I'm not gonna give all of myself just to one person. I want to be able to sample and see what I like. Mr. Roll with me ain't finna be a part of that bullshit. Because if you only giving out 50% of yourself, how you splitting 50% of yourself across 4 people? So none of us is getting any part of you. You just trying to see who gonna work the hardest for you. That's a freaking marathon. No, I don't. Fuck.
That sounds like a business move. She gave it 25%. That's an investment.
I feel like that's
going to invest 100% in.
I feel like so personally, I'm gonna say as a woman, I don't believe in investing 100% when you're dating. That to me, 100% is for marriage. You're not getting it all. You're not my husband. And then prior to dating, when you're like in the talking phase, but you're not, this is pre being exclusive, then you should definitely date multiple people because you're not exclusive. And I feel like a lot of women will be jumping the gun. They treating a man that ain't even their boyfriend like he her husband. Give him 100%. He ain't even asked you to be exclusive yet. He ain't even claimed you yet. And so if you're just talking, but you're not a boyfriend and girlfriend yet, like you're not exclusive, but y'all just started talking, then I think, yeah, you should be talking to multiple people, especially if you're prone, and this is when you know yourself, you're prone to over investing. You're prone to jumping the gun. You're prone to doing too much. So if it's before
light on every day.
All right. I got a question
if y'all
for
aren't
you,
exclusive
Miss
yet,
Amber.
then I think that's okay.
I got a question for you, Miss Amber. And this is the question that stoned TikTok live when I was on there. So I was talking to someone that thought similar to how you thought. So let's say you're not exclusive with anybody. You're dating multiple people. And here I am raising a son, right? I'm teaching my son that you are to show a woman what you are about out the gate. If you looking to be a husband, then show this woman you want to be a husband. So with that being said, if you're dating, let's say 4 people, let's say you dating 4 people and you're not giving 100% of yourself, let's say you're giving 50. How are you splitting that 50% across 4 people? That's the first question.
You want me to answer that?
That's the first question. How are you splitting 50% of yourself across 4 people?
That's 12.5%.
Right.
Okay. I'm glad you do the numbers. I'm glad we keep doing the numbers here. All right, now continue to roll with me. So if I'm telling my son to be a stand-up, be an honorable man to a woman, and he's stepping up the plate, and he's trying to give you, let's say he's not trying to give you all of him, he's probably doing 50%. Let's say he bringing it in, like, this is what I want to be for you. But you are dating multiple people. For one, you're not fully invested in just one person. So each person you're dating, there's going to be something you like about that person. There's going to be something you dislike about that person. What I need you to answer for me is, how do my son win with those odds?
Well, I think it's not about winning. It's just like because I feel like I'm a time person. So you can talk for being a talking phrase for X amount. You can give a man an X amount of time of your attention. If it doesn't progress or you don't start having those conversations, like, well, I think a relationship should progress organically, right? But if you're seeing it stall or plateau, then you know that that's not something worth continuing.
But see, perception plays into that too, though. You see what I'm saying? So his 50% might feel like 25% to you because you're probably not used to it. You see what I'm saying? So again, it's just one of those things where I don't believe in dating multiple people. I believe in, if I find out this something I don't want very quickly, because women know very quickly if you something they want to mess with. So how is it I'm training my son to go out here in this world to date women, and there are women, you are now like the 3rd woman that said, I'm not gonna give my all. It is what it is. So when do you reciprocate? How do you know he's the one if you're not giving your all to him and yet you're giving parts of you to other men? So to me, that sounds like he's fucked.
No, I think that it's something that should build up. And I think something I've observed is women get ahead of men in dating. Instead of being where they're at, giving the same energy and the relationship should be progressing. Y'all should be getting closer. You should have more time and energy for each other as a relationship progresses, right? But if it's not progressing, then you shouldn't give extra. You shouldn't be giving extra. And I think because I hear so many people talk about modern women, I think it's actually beneficial for men to have the same attitude. Like, and I actually had a question for you, because when you were talking about a woman knows if she wants to mess with a man.
Wait. You got to pause there.
Okay.
And you said them giving them pretty much what I gather, what you were saying is that women taking the role of men that men have taken previously or in history. We could say that as far as dating multiple people. Now, I want to speak to that. Usually women, because we are emotional. The only reason you're going to date several and not give your all is because you've been hurt before. That's totally unfair to bring your baggage to the next relationship. Mm-hmm. Because that's exactly what it is. The only thing is you got 4 bags to distribute to 4 different people. You hold that while I see if I really like you.
But so my question is, you said that women tend to know pretty quickly whether or not they want to mess with a guy seriously. So is that true for men? Do men know pretty quickly, okay, I want to be exclusive?
Yes. I'm going to tell you right now, let's take it a step further. A man knows within days if he would marry you or not. He just waiting on you to fuck up. Let that marinate like neck bone juice. Like literally, when a man walks into a relationship, he's like, dang, this chick cooking. She about her business. That's Mrs. Peavy right there. But don't jump the gun right now. Let's let this roll on out, because eventually there's something about her that's gonna surface. So technically, men they don't mind popping the question months in. Like, you gotta think about it backwards. You've already got the ring. He's waiting on you to show him why he shouldn't give it to you.
Okay, I like that.
That's really what it is.
Like that. It makes sense. So look,
so if y'all are in the talking phase, if you're in a talking phase and he knows that, okay, she could be my wife, how much time do you think, who should bring up the exclusivity conversation? Like, if a man is serious about a woman he's talking to, when is it appropriate for him, if he's serious, because that's not something the woman knows if y'all just met each other, for him to be like, okay, I want to be exclusive with you?
Well, the way I'm teaching my son, because I don't want to teach him to date without purpose. The second he hit the dating scene, I'm telling him, you need to go up to a woman and tell her what your exact intentions are. If you're looking for marriage, you need to tell her that. Because what I don't want him to be in is a holding pattern. Because I'm sorry, for me, and this is no shot at you, but I'm sorry, when women date like that, that can easily be a pattern from him to be dating for time and time on end until you feel like you're ready to bring him up a step forward. So for me, it's all about your intent going into it. Soon as y'all hit the table, hey, what you in for? You in for the long ride, or you just want to have fun? Let me know. Don't be bullshitting with me. And I'm sorry, I will dislike a woman who's trying to date my son if I felt like that's what she was doing. I'd be like, yeah, she ain't the one for you. I feel like dating should be give what you can to one person at a time. So date that one person, and if you know very quickly if they on some bullshit or they ain't your cup of tea, then I'm sorry, Mr. Jacob, this ain't it. And then go on to the next one. But I just feel like stuff can get so clouded when you're dating multiple people, because then there comes confusion. Then there's perception, or is this man more of a man than the other one? And then I probably liked his stroke game, and his was a little weak. And now you sitting here weighing your option on these Libra scales when you need to be just one. I've always been a one woman man. I'm 30. I turned 33 this year. I've only been in 3 real relationships. I've always dated with intent because I don't want to. But like you said earlier, I believe in not allowing everybody access to me and whatnot. And it ain't even got to be sexual. It can be mental. Once a person get in your head, that's a whole nother level of fuck up. So I feel like dating should be with intent. Even if it is just to be a cut buddy, you still need to sit there and vet your cut buddies like you would anybody else. So I don't know.
Okay. So I have another question. So because you're not, a lot of men don't approach dating like that. I can speak for myself and other women I spoke to, where they'll come across men who are like, well, I'm not sure and I'm confused, and let's just see where things go, and that type of energy. What do you recommend? How do you think women should respond to that when you bring up the conversation of intent, and then you get vagueness as a woman? How should a woman respond to that?
I think she should respond honestly, because at the end of the day, I know some women like to stroke a man's feelings and whatnot. Like, maybe I'm not ready right now. Y'all don't want us to play with y'all. Don't play with us. Because a man like me will sit here and give his all to a woman, not knowing she ain't ready or don't want to make that leap. That's just a waste of time. And then you ruin me for the next woman. So here I am dating with that intent. I get to the next woman, then I treat her like shit because you sat there and drugged me along for so long. It's a double-edged sword. Like, I'm just gonna be honest. I need women to own their shit.
Okay. I can agree with that. Look, Doc King used to say all the time, he was like, yeah, you can wait all your life waiting on Mr. Right to find out that you Mrs. Wrong. And that's like, there you go. It's not what you want. Amber, you want to go to the comment?
Okay, so Alonzo Claybrook said, I'm on the younger side. I'm actually engaged due to be married next month. I've never considered, as a rule, marriage before 2 years of consecutive dating. There's too many variables for me to try to hitch my wagon to you after a handful of months. People switch up, people get complacent, abusive, or manipulative tendencies can surface, etc. Waiting 2 years of your life in comparison to the potential lifetime partner you get is worth it.
Okay, I want Mr. Rowe with me to comment on that or respond to that comment. You got anything?
He's technically not saying anything different, which he left out part, but like I said, he's pretty much not saying anything different than I said. He's like, I'm going to wait until things blossom, because it's only after a woman settles and she's not feeding on that love potion, whatever that little internal chemical is that y'all go through. Wait till we settle into each other. I want to see what my wife really going to be like. Now, for me, like I told my wife, I'll marry you right now. Me and my wife started dating in February. I popped the question in October. We were married January.
Oh, so how long was
it? Like 8 to 10 months.
That's awesome.
That's how quick it was. Like, I saw what I needed, what I wanted, and I went after it. So, but he's right though. It's like, but me and my wife was best friends for 4 years before that. So I knew.
Okay, so you
That's
knew.
Very
her.
different.
I knew what kind of woman she was.
Okay, I have to put this out here because I am who I am. That love hormone is oxytocin. That's the nurse in me coming out. I'm like, you know, I gotta edutain you. You know what I mean? That's what it's called. Once that stuff is released, there you go. So you already knew her 4 years prior, and then it took 8 months. See, I can respect something like that. And let me say this. You have people that feel as though that there's a timeline to be married to somebody. At my age, I'm 48 years old. I got to tell you, I ain't got time to be waiting no 2 years to see if I want to marry you.
Yeah.
At this stage of the game.
My wife told me I had 2 years. When I started dating her, she said, you got 2 years to figure it out, because I'm not going to be your forever girlfriend.
Fine. And how old is your wife?
She turns 35 this year.
Exactly. So she got some time. Me at 48. I ain't got to. Do you want to do this or not? Just what you said, that you know, guys know if they can deal with you or if you can't. Because I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest. At this stage of the game, it's like, who can you tolerate? You know what I mean? And I'm not looking for I got to get married right now because I've already been married. So when you deal with women who has never been married, who are waiting to get married, you know, they're like, oh, okay, well, I'll put in the time. Next thing you know, you like 60 and you be like, oh, wait. And here's the problem. You know that you want to marry that guy. That man wants to marry you, but your friends, your camp behind you was like, y'all just met. Mm-hmm. You need to be together. You don't even know this guy. Y'all just met. You need to be together. That's your camp. And here's what's silly. Your camp, 80% of your camp single. Or, you know,
or unmarried.
Probably dating somebody's husband, or, you know, or he got this and we got to understand it. You got to make decisions for you. Go ahead.
Can I ask y'all a question?
Sure.
What are y'all deal breakers for marriage?
So I'll go first. So I'm not a spring chicken, but I have some of my own assets and wealth. So I was with my husband for 9 years. And so I would love to get remarried, but it's not, like you said, like Mel was saying, it's not critical because I've already experienced it and I'm more content being single. But for me, I would say religion, like what their faith is, income, education level, and how many kids I have. I have one child, so I'm okay with kids. But if you got 10 kids, I don't want, because that sounds like a financial liability to me. And I can't do it. So those are the 4 things that I just like, I can't deviate from. But I feel like every woman's deal breakers for marriage varies. It's different for every woman. And like you had, let me answer
mine. Let me get my
turn. Sorry, go ahead.
Look, let me get my turn. The deal breaker for me is lack of respect and a liar. That's a deal breaker for me. If you don't respect me, that ain't gonna work. But we ain't even gonna get to marriage.
Right, we're not gonna date.
But a liar, but you don't even know, because how often have you seen?
So I want to make sure I'm clear. I meant that as if you're married right now, considering the vows that you've taken.
Oh, cheating. That's the deal breaker for me.
That's it.
That's it. That's the deal breaker for me. If I'm married, that's it. That's what happens.
If we're already married, we're in a marital union. I'm trying to think. I want to answer thoughtfully, but I would definitely say I don't know. I don't want to say. I'm sorry, y'all. I saw y'all's faces, but I want, because I feel like just because my own marriage was so unusual, I try not to be like this for sure. You know what I'm saying?
Cheating and disrespect, deal breaker for me.
Or like, no, not even disrespect, because I mean, I can be disrespectful. It's something that happens, but like,
I love your honesty.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you get into it,
but we need to hear the guess. But we need to hear the guess. Go ahead, Mr. Roman with me. What's your point?
I'm sick of the divorce rate and how, because let's be honest, most relationships that are pulled, when the plug get pulled on them, women pull it. And I'm sick of men's lives getting turned upside down because a lot of women took marriage as being trendy instead of being exactly what it needed to be. So, like I told my wife, the only thing I'm leaving you for is if you entertain another man and if you put your hands on me. All that other shit, I'm willing to take on the chin and we'll work through it. This should just be a marriage from hell until we get it together. Because if you really, I don't know if y'all are, I don't want to impose anybody's faith or nothing like that. But when you really think of those vows that you're taking, there's really no freaking way out. Right. There's really no way out. And even in the Bible, it says you got to be cheated on or something like that. But now I hear women go, if I ain't happy, it's a wrap. If I ain't happy, it's like, for real? Like, if I don't get you what you want on your birthday, shit, you ain't happy that day. I got a problem. You see what I'm saying? So that's another reason why it takes a man so long to marry a woman, to bring it back full circle, is because we need to know where your character stands, where your moral standing stands. Because if you got a laundry list of reasons as to why you will unhinge a marriage, then why waste that time, money, and energy? Why go through that? Like, no offense, when she was like, I can't speak, that right there scares the shit out of a man. If I was single and you answered like that, I'm like my boy earlier. Yeah, we're gonna ride this motherfucking thing out for 2 years because I need to know where your mental is before I sign any goddamn thing to go, this is the woman that can fuck my life up. You can enhance my life, but you can also fuck it up.
No, I meant in the sense that of like what would be a deal breaker, because like Mel said, disrespect. And I said no, because I know myself, I can be disrespectful. When you said physical violence, again, to me, that's a little, because I don't know what kind of if y'all have ever, what kind of situations you had, but the people I know in my family that were married for 40, 50 years, it can happen. Now, if he's beating you every day, that's different. But if y'all had one fight in 15 years and it got physical, I'm not going to divorce over that. You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm like, I didn't, and I put my finger up, my church finger up, because I did think of one. Pedophilia. If I find out my husband was a pedophile, it's over. You know, and any biblical based basis for a divorce, I would probably divorce. But there's just a lot of things where I'm just like, thinking realistically, when you're in a long-term relationship, I'm like, it can happen. It doesn't necessarily mean your relationship is horrible. You know what I'm saying? Or it's like you need to end the marriage.
One petty one. So I got two solid ones, but I got one petty one.
Okay.
And y'all gonna be like, what? All right, hold on. Hold on to your seat when I say it.
Okay.
That's if I'm told, because of the past I have, that's if I'm told you don't want to be here.
Okay. So if you say, okay, I don't want to be here, then
if you even contemplate it, if you come to me and go, I've been feeling away, I'm out. And the reason why is women, let's be real here. Women don't need men, men need women. Let's put it that way. So
elaborate.
Let's see here. Even from the start, men come chase the women. Y'all ain't at the bar buying us drinks. We coming to y'all. You see what I'm saying? All the work is lopsided. We coming to y'all. We're doing the courting. We're trying to show you we can fit in your life. We are trying to be a part of your life. We're asking for your marriage, for your hand in marriage. Everything is about us trying to get you to accept us. You see what I'm saying? And like I said earlier, most relationships are killed because of the woman. The second she ain't feeling it, and y'all use the maturity bone, maybe this isn't working out. Let's go our separate ways. So with that being said, we need y'all. Like, there are things I can't even do on a day-to-day basis correctly if it wasn't for my wife. Like stuff with the kids and whatnot. Like, I'm not good at that shit. I need my wife. Where women, y'all can do that shit blindfolded. Y'all don't need us really for anything. So it's just, you don't understand the mental headspace you put a man in when you threaten to take away everything he's worked for. Since he met you in the club and started chasing you all the way till you got married, and then working his ass off to stay married to you so that you don't pull the plug and you walk up and go, yeah, I'm sorry, Jane, but for the past like 6 months, I ain't been really feeling this, and either things better pick up or we're gonna have to ship out. That man goes into a sunken place. He's lost because he's like, how do I save my wife? How do I? And again, if we go back to the checklist, we know you've already contemplated on everything you need to get in order before you pull the plug. Again, at this point in my life, you've already made a decision. You're just trying to find the next nail to put in the coffin to end it all. So for me, you tell me that. And I know you are thorough. I know you thought this shit through. We just need to see it through. We just need to, because at this point, we are adults. We need to be able to sit down, have conversations before they get to a certain point. We should be able to hash things out before you get to a place where you're looking at me telling me it's almost a wrap for you. No, it is a wrap for me. You can go on, print them bitches out. I'll sign them before the ink dries. I'm not going to live in that space of unsurety, me trying to, is she okay today? Oh shit, I forgot to pick the kids up on time. What that means? She just told me she was thinking about leaving me yesterday. It's a total mind fuck when that is on the table. And I refuse to live in that shit. I'm not going to live in it.
So you guys just shut down. As soon as you hear it, you be like, okay.
I'm gonna shut the hell off. It's done.
So I have a question for you.
All right.
So since you said that, women and marriages in modern times, and that is true. That's supported by statistics. Women initiate divorce in America. Is it mostly because of the potential financial loss? Is that
Let me
men
make sure I
have
understand. Let me make sure I understand the question. Rephrase it for me again.
so like you said, men are afraid of women walking away from a marriage because women tend to initiate divorce. So is it because of like the emotional loss, or is it more so because of, you said, everything a man has worked for? So is it like, okay, you married without a prenuptial agreement, it's about the money?
It's a little bit of everything, but it's very much a good piece of it is the financial thing, because what women have to understand, a woman for us is work. It's work to get her, it's work to keep her, it's work to sustain a happy basis. It's effort from the time we say, Miss Mill, you want to meet somebody, you interested in meeting new people? Sure, how you doing? My name's Stanley, and I have to work my ass off to get Miss Mill to the altar. I get her to the altar, and I can already get the feeling of what type of woman she is. She ain't gonna let me be stagnant. So I gotta sit here and continue to be the man she fell in love with throughout the marriage to make sure she stays happy. It's work. It's constant work to be an honorable man to a woman of some substance. You see what I'm saying? So and even then, like we bring our own flavor to the table. There are things and experiences that I can give you that I don't want any other man to even have the privilege of understanding. There are things right now because of a previous encounter that now I get to experience because of that previous encounter. Men don't like that. So that's that. But then it is the financial piece. So here, like I said earlier, I got a woman that could pretty much enhance my life. A man has to think about that before marriage, because the same woman that can enhance it can fuck your life up. There's child support, of course. That's the easy one to pick out. There's dealing with parenting time and using the kids as pawns and can't get them when you want to. Then there's constant of people looking at you funny, because when you split up, your friends, your circles, all that split up. They're gonna pick a side. I'm a product of a divorce. Trust me, I know. My circles got small very fucking fast. So there's a lot at stake for a man to get married when everybody is emotional when it comes to a woman. A woman can go through a divorce and leave that divorce the same way she went into the marriage. Like, let's keep it a buck. Yeah, you might have to pay a few bills. There's a couple credit cards we had together and whatnot. You pay that off, you good. You back being male and amber. A man can't bounce back like that. He's crippled for some time. Even if child support isn't even a thing, it's literally exhausting for a man to pour that much energy into something and not get it back, and get told the reason why you don't want this marriage no more is because you're not happy. And you didn't give me a chance to rectify the situation. You just went from zero to flight on my ass, and before I know it, we downtown. And now you understand why men take so long. Why women be like, man, I done been with this dude 7 years. He ain't popped the question yet. It ain't because he don't want to. I can tell you that now. He pretty much 7 years. He wants to. There's just something about you that says, if it ain't right, you finna uproot everything he has.
So what's your opinion on prenuptial agreements?
I got to get this question in because the time is running out. I want to talk about mama's boys. Real, is this a bad time?
No, I'm a mama's boy. Come on.
Are you? Mama's boys.
Yep.
Now, some women feel as though mama's boys are jacked up. And then some people feel as though mama's boys is the ones that you want to get with. Now,
and we are.
When? After the mama die?
No. No.
I'm just saying what I'm saying.
The younger we are, the more jacked up we are.
From a mama's boy.
The younger we are, the more jacked up we are. The older we are, the more of a blessing we are to you. Unfortunately, the younger we are freshly removed from the house. So mama come before everything. At one point in my life, I used to look at my mama and go, I can always get another wife. I can't get another mama. I used to live by that. Like I could be inches
And
deep
that's true.
I could be inches deep down in the yams. If my mama called, I would stop everything. Hold up. I would pop right out the yams. Hey, what's up, mom? You need help? All right, babe, I'll be back because my mom needs me. But I had to learn how to put those boundaries in place. But once I put those boundaries in place and literally made my wife what put her in the position, and it's gonna sound funny the way I'm gonna say it because I don't know how to get it off my head right now. But once I put my wife in that position my mom was, as far as priority and urgency, I'm the best thing that could I'm not self-righteous or anything like that.
Just
But
go ahead and talk.
I'm the best thing that ever happened to my wife the second I did that. Now I'm the shit because the way I used to jump for my mom, now I jump for my wife. The way I used to look at my mom, I'd be like, babe, what you want? I will end everything. I will stop what I'm doing to be that for you. So the younger we are, the more of a handful we can be. It's not until and I hate to say it, it's not until we are scared that like I'm finna lose everything I got to know that urgency, that all that priority, all of that needs to shift to the wife. And until we make that realization, we gonna be hell.
Okay, Amber, you want to read the comment?
So Blackstrap said that mama's boys know how to treat a woman that why they want us.
Yeah, you read it just exactly.
It messed me up, so I apologize.
That's all right. Yeah. And now here's the thing: it is good. It is. I'm not going to say it's not because they do know how to treat a woman, but when does the girl get her turn? Because if mama's constantly calling and you're married,
oh yeah,
mama's still there. That's why I made that statement. I said, what? When do you get your turn? When mama died? God forbid, but you know what I'm saying? Like
it's that trigger. It all depends on when we realize our woman, and I hate to say that, mama, our woman is more important than our mama at some point. There's a trigger. Each man is different on that point. For me, it was, oh shoot, we can get a divorce today. Oh shit. That's what that means. Hey mom, look, I gotta make some changes, right? I'm sorry. After about 4 o'clock, I can't just pop up over here. You gonna have to give me some room. You gonna have to give me some time. I gotta make sure my wife feel like she's the HBIC in charge in this piece. That's a hard conversation as well. But at some point, all mama's boys got to come to that realization. We eventually do, not before she passes on, but we eventually do. But until we make that realization, yeah, we can be hell. I was hell at one point.
All right.
And no, I do not believe in prenuptial agreements.
Okay.
I'll answer her. Yeah, like.
Thank you for answering my question.
Yeah.
You trust me with everything but your money? No, I got the problem.
That is our time today. That's my time. I thoroughly enjoyed you as I do each and every single Saturday. I want you guys to give it up to TikTok sensation, Mr. Roll With Me. Follow him on all social media platforms at Stanley Lamar PVPEAVY. Or just check out Mr. Roll With Me. You can see it. That's why that's how I saw him. All right. So I thank you for coming on. You got to come on again. We got to piece this thing together and get it going. So I thank you again for coming.
Anytime.
To book you. How can people reach out?
You got the email correspondence.rollwithmenation, RWMN @outlook.com, and you can come talk to me.
All right. And if you guys need that information, I'll have it listed below. And if you need that information, you can't see, and you're in the listening audience, can't see us right now, feel free to reach out to me, 619-902-2287, and I'll be sure to get that information to you. All right. Thank you for coming on. Yeah. Right. And then we have our lovely Amber, the analyst in the building. I truly appreciate you coming on. I figured you'd like him.
Yes, it was great conversation. I didn't mean to be taken over, but I like to ask questions. So
hey, we love it.
It was great conversation.
So give it up to the co-host, Amber, the analyst.
Bye, guys.
All right, like I said earlier, I love you guys for listening. Unfortunately, that was our time. We got to get them back on the show. Y'all know how it is. Today's footnote: your heart is love, your ego is fear. So, what did I learn today? I have learned that a lot of people act out of fear instead of love. So, give your all if love is what you're looking for. All right? All right. You already know what it is. Find you, embrace you. Most importantly, always, always love you. Until next week, people, you know, Shop Talk every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. And don't forget to like us on all social networks, okay? At Shop Talk with Mel. All right? All right. And on your favorite podcast, you can listen to this show however many times you choose to listen to this show. All at Shop Talk with Mel. I love you for listening. Peace.